Hey guys, so it is Monday, 5 p.m. We're doing the live stream. Thank you guys so much for joining, as always. And yeah, I'm really actually have been looking forward to doing this live stream just because this is something that I've personally struggled with for so long now, and this is something that a lot of you guys have asked about. And I do want to also ask you guys really quickly, if you are in the live chat and watching the live stream right now, please let me know that everything is working, because I always worry, hashtag anxiety, right, that this isn't working correctly. So anyways, if it is, let me know. Okay. And just give me like a thumbs up in the video or a yes that it is working, so that we can sort all of this stuff out. Awesome. Okay, good to know that it's working. So a couple of quick announcements before we fully dive into the video is that t-shirts, avocado t-shirts are now live, and if you guys want to buy a t-shirt for the next 2 days, all of the shirts, the 2 designs, are 15% off. It's in the description box below, and the discount code is also in there, and so you can buy the shirts at 15% off for the next today and tomorrow. So after that, it's going to be full price, and I believe I am going to try to design new shirts every other month, or just merchandise every other month for you guys. And if you guys ever have an idea, and your shirt arrived today, amazing, Jennifer, that's awesome. And if you guys ever have any ideas of what you would want, any sayings or designs or anything like that, please feel free to let me know. And one of the best ways to let me know is by using the super chat button. And what that is that like money sign button in the chat, and you can donate even just like $1 if you wanted to, whatever amount that you want. And then the super chats end up getting saved onto my YouTube channel comments, so that I'll have them forever, so that I can design the shirt that you're looking for. So if that's something that you want to do, click the super chat button and then let me know what kind of shirt that you want, and I will have that idea forever, and that shirt will happen. So maybe that'll incentivize you guys to use the super chat button, because I've never used it. So that would be interesting. Okay, second thing is I want to talk about is something that I have personally been working on. So there is a company called The Good Cards, and what the card is it looks just like, a regular card. So it'd be like a regular card like this, and on the back side there's a QR code, and you scan it, and it's a game of making the world a better place by paying it forward. And one of the most awesome things is I got to film a part of their Kickstarter and be in the Kickstarter at the end of, I think, not at the end, but about 2 weeks ago, and then it just went live. And so I really encourage you guys to check it out if you guys are interested. It basically is a game of paying it forward, in the sense that you have a card, you scan it, you open it up in the app, and you start a mission. And then you go and do something nice for yourself, and then something nice for a stranger, and you leave them the card. And then when they get the card, they have, they scan it, and then you can see in your app that they've scanned it, and then they pay it forward. And it's this crazy game of how far the card can go. So you could start missions at any time, and a card is only $2. So anyways, I've linked that in the description box below if this is a game that sounds really, really fun and you guys want to do it too, because I happen to love it. And I'm also doing a retreat at the end of July, and if you see this thing right here, those are posters, and they're good cards that I've gotten, and I'm actually going to be passing those out at the retreat, because I really believe in this. I mean, how awesome is it that someone created a game out of doing good in the world? I think that's freaking awesome. Okay, yeah, so if you guys want to order a card or you want a box kit, it's only $2. It's $2 to start a mission. And I've linked everything in the description box below for you guys. So if you guys are interested in that, you can definitely do that. And t-shirts are in there too. So those are the announcements. Okay, so moving forward to today's video, I'm going to kind of do this video in 3 different parts and pause in between for any questions that you guys have and answer your questions. Because last week, one of you guys said that you wanted these live streams to be even more interactive. So of course, any feedback you guys give me, I definitely listen to. So I have the chat that open right now right in front of me. So if you guys have any questions about any of the 3 segments, and the 3 parts are going to be, the first part is just kind of talking about what is anxiety. Second part is strategies in combating anxiety. And the third part is how to recover from anxiety. And I do want to say that, you guys, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist. Like, I don't have professional medical experience whatsoever. And all of these videos that I ever do are basically me giving you what I've learned from my firsthand experience dealing with these things, in hopes that it will help you somehow. Even if you just take away a little bit. I mean, you know, anything that can help other people. And in a way, I kind of love that I don't have all of this crazy like medical experience, because I'm just one of you guys. I'm just another person going through life, dealing with these things and trying really hard to get through it. And, you know, so it's kind of like we're all going through the same thing together, and I want to be able to help each other getting through these tough times and these things that we're dealing with. And I'm always going to be open and honest with you guys about this kind of stuff, and have these really deep conversations that for a lot of people are difficult to have. So anyways, those are the 3 parts, and I'm going to pause in between the parts so that you guys, if you have questions, I will answer those questions. So feel free to type any questions you have as we are going along. And then, of course, at the end of it, I am going to give you guys the Live and Learn Army goal of the week, because you guys are my Live and Learn Army, and I think that's probably going to be the next t-shirt or mug design. Okay, so let's take a breather. I think together what I want to do today, this is going to be a little bit different, is wherever you are right now, let's take 3 breaths together, because anxiety tends to be us having a lot of just nerves, right? So I want to go ahead and take 3 breaths with you guys on the live stream. I know this is a little bit different, but let's do that. So we're going to inhale right now. You guys can sit in a comfortable position or wherever you are. So inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And one more really, really deep breath. Inhale and exhale. And that should really help also calm down your nerves. And that's a good strategy for any time that you have anxiety, because I'm going to be honest, when I get ready for these live streams, sometimes, or pretty much every time, I get a little bit anxious because I worry that certain things are not going to go right, or that no one is going to show up to the live stream. I definitely worry about those things. So I also want to let you guys know that I do get a little bit anxious when it comes to these things, and it's perfectly normal. Okay, so first of all, part 1, what is anxiety? I think that anxiety can be different for everybody. For me personally, it happens in a lot of overthinking, and I tend to feel outside of my body. I tend to feel really rushed and not in tune with things. For other people, they have different tics. They have panic attacks. They get really shaky. They get really nervous. So it shows up differently for everybody. For the longest time, I didn't even know that I had anxiety. I just thought that I was overthinking a lot, and I would think in circles, like complete circles, and I would ask myself like 30 billion questions before I can even make a decision, and just freak out about it. And the best way I like to describe anxiety is that you're basically thinking in the future, because it's not something that is currently happening. It's something that you are trying to brace yourself from happening. And so I call it kind of like future thinking, and you're not being present in the moment. And so when we do things like slow down our breath and take the time to really center ourselves, it makes us be fully present, because you're focusing on breathing. You're not focusing on like what is going to happen tomorrow. Oh my God, my interview. Oh my God, my college application. Oh my God, I'm going on a date. Oh my God, I have to like talk to my boss. Or oh my gosh, like I don't know what I'm doing with my life. It could be something very small, or it could be something really big. And I really believe that when it comes to anxiety, it's caused by some type of trauma. And what I've been seeing in my life is that there are patterns that happen to us. So every thing that has ever happened to us since we were young has taught us to see the world in a certain way. And what ends up happening with this is, on a very, I guess, instinctual level, we are animals, right? And in the wild, and this is just an observation that I've made, in the wild, animals, when they're in danger or they are running for their lives, they have different defense mechanisms. And so since we're animals, but emotions get really, really scary, we tend to get defense mechanisms and our patterns of trauma, because we literally sometimes feel like we're going to die, causes the anxiety reaction. So let's say that when you were little, you had some traumatic experience where, let's say, you fell off of a bridge into water and you almost drowned. Very, very freaking scary and very traumatic. And now for the rest of your life, for some reason, whenever you see bridges or things similar to bridges, you get anxiety and you start panicking, and you may not even be aware of it because you've suppressed those emotions. So that is what I mean. We're animals in that sense. Those types of things cause trauma in us, and that's what causes our anxiety. At least this is what I found. All of my anxiety stems from this kind of stuff. And so that is one example of it. And if you think about it, when it comes to dogs, right, for instance, when they get into a fight, afterwards you'll notice that they'll shake. They'll just start shaking. And what they're doing is shaking that type of trauma and anxiety and those emotions out of their bodies. There has been long studies and ancient studies in terms of yoga. It's to move emotions outside of our bodies. And yes, this sounds like really hippie and really woo-woo and like really, really weird. But in a sense, it kind of makes sense, because when we're feeling a certain way, like we feel it in our bodies. We feel this kind of just like in our bodies. And I really believe that. And it's because those traumas stick with us. And so before I move on to like my strategies of how I've dealt with this, I'm going to read some of your comments in the live stream. I was just looking for support groups. Perfect topic for today. Oh, Jordan, I want to give you a hug. It's definitely really, really tough. And then, yeah, oh my gosh, Jamie's dealing with this too. Thank you for doing this. This really makes me glad there are good people. Like, Indra, that's so nice. Thank you. You guys are so sweet. Rukia Star, I'm so sorry if I'm messing up the usernames. That is so sweet of you to say to Jordan. You guys are awesome, and this is the exact kind of community that I want to build. I start to panic when I see and hear trains. I think someone is getting hit. It's scary. I have anxiety around pools because a friend pushed me in a pool before and I don't know how to swim. Exactly. See, this is stuff that all of us have, and it's crazy that no one wants to talk about it and no one wants to make it normal when it is normal. Because, I mean, if you're living life, inevitably you're going to go through something that is going to cause some type of trauma and scare you. And we all have to just kind of pretend like we're all okay and like nothing is wrong, because if something is wrong, God forbid, now you're crazy or you're chaotic. And it's like, no, that's not a thing. All of us need to show compassion and empathy because we're all going through it together, and that's the community I want to create. And I love that you guys are so supportive of one another. Okay, so feel free to keep asking questions. I'm going to move on to the second part of this, and this is the strategies that I've learned in how to basically combat this type of anxiety that I've experienced. And I'm going to be talking about it in like two different kind of ways. One way is like when you're in a very safe environment, and one way is when you're in an unsafe environment. And I will describe what both of those are. And if you guys have any strategies while we're going through this, please feel free to share it with everybody in the live stream as well. Okay, so a safe environment, I would consider this as like if you're at home and you're feeling anxiety because of something that's happened or because of something that's going to happen and you're overthinking or for whatever reason, I would consider that a safe environment. Or if you're around people that you feel comfortable enough to talk about this kind of stuff with, then I think that is what I would consider a safe environment. For an unsafe environment, I would consider this like when you're literally going through this. Like if you're literally at the office of your job interview, or you're literally going through something, let's say like you're getting bullied, whatever it is, it's not exactly a safe environment because it's like, oh my gosh, like I'm literally in the middle of it. So in terms of when you're in a safe space, I have quite a few ways of helping you deal with it, because when you're in a safe space, you can kind of be like weird if you want to and do whatever you want, because no one's going to really judge you for it, right? And whoever you're with, if you're comfortable enough with them to consider it a safe space, will allow you to just do whatever it is. My first strategy for this, and this does not go in any kind of order in terms of what is better or not as good. It's just kind of the order that I'm deciding to talk about it, and it's going to be different for each and every one of you, what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Okay, so first thing is, for me, that works really well is to write it out. So I tend to think in circles whenever I have anxiety, and I'll think about a topic from every single possible angle, and then I'll think about it again and then keep going over and over and over in circles. I remember at one point I was dating somebody, and in order for me to even send him a text message, I would have to literally ask myself 30 different questions. And like, I wonder how he's going to respond. How should I word this text message? What should I do? Blah, blah. And it was absolutely crazy. And this caused so much anxiety in me because I had been in a 7.5-year relationship with somebody who would never allow me to talk about my feelings and would always shut me down. And so I had so much trauma from it. And I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that I had anxiety from this. And I also did a video on my 3 most significant breakups. So some of you have probably heard this before. But one of the times I literally texted the person that I was dating, and I felt so much anxiety in my body. I fell to the floor and started sobbing. It was that bad. And, this kind of stuff, it happens. It's normal. And it was me really having to fight through it and get through it, right? So writing it out really helped me understand that my thoughts were kind of in a way unrealistic, and that in a way they were ridiculous. And so what I would do is I would write down all the questions that I was thinking, and then I would write by it, okay, but can you control this? Okay, but you don't know the answer, because what I think a lot of anxiety comes down to is lack of control. And honestly, we're not going to be able to control anybody but ourselves. Everybody else out there is doing their own thing. We have no control over that. And if we're trying to control other people, well, damn, there's something that we need to fix within ourselves if that's what we're trying to do. So writing it all out also stops you from looping in circles, because once you've written it, you don't necessarily write the same thing again. And when you're able to see your thoughts and how, in a way, for me, ridiculous they are, you're able to start realizing that all of that anxiety is not really you. It's just those noise and those voices that are happening in your head. So that's the first way. The second way that I've found sometimes that helps is to just lay down somewhere. Whether it's on a couch, on a bed, or on the floor, on a carpet, lay down and let your body feel it out. Because a lot of times all of that adrenaline we're trying to, or stress or whatever it is that we're feeling, we're trying to suppress it, and you want it to just come out of your body instead of suppressing it. Whenever you have something that's happening to you and you're feeling a certain way, I like to just release it. After you cry and release it, you feel better because those emotions have come out of your body. So laying down helps. And then I also want to say that sometimes it's not about slowing down and laying down, but it's about moving faster that helps. So dance around, put on some music, move your body around, punch pillows, get your body moving, and maybe you can release it that way. Another thing that I do is I scream in my car. I know for a lot of people this sounds ridiculous, like you must be crazy, you scream in your car. I cry in my car all the time in traffic. I scream in my car if stuff's going wrong. Almost said the S word. Not that you guys would have minded, but I scream, like I literally just like scream, like just scream. And after I scream and I let it out, I'm just like, okay, I can like move forward, at least for now, until I can get to a safe space and I can feel better. So I do that. And I think these things are super duper healthy, because I think when you suppress emotions, you end up doing things like drugs and drinking and abusing alcohol. You know, it becomes a huge problem. Or like for me, I would binge eat, and then I'd be in cycles of binge eating because I wasn't dealing with my emotions in a healthy way. Letting out your emotions, screaming on a mountain, yelling on a mountain, those are healthy ways of dealing with it. You're not hurting anybody, you're just releasing. And to people it sounds crazy, but it's not crazy. It's because society has built up this way of us thinking that just because we get anxiety that it's crazy, and bottling things up is normal. We all have to pretend that we're okay all the time. And you know what? Honestly, I am okay all the time because I combat my anxiety by doing these things. And everything that you guys are doing and helping each other with right now, those are all normal. And I love the conversations that we're having, because now we all know there are other people out there like us that do these things, and it's so, so helpful. Okay, another thing that you could do, call a friend. So I tend to be, I'm an extroverted introvert, so I am someone that finds it very helpful to have somebody there with me when I'm going through this kind of stuff that I feel safe to do it with. My sister the other day and I drove up to a mountain, and all the way up the mountain, I hysterically cried. I had so much anxiety, I hysterically cried. And I didn't even know I was feeling that way, but it wasn't until she created that safe space for me was I able to release all of it. Because even though I was journaling and writing on my own, trying to release that type of anxiety, it just wasn't coming up fully. So for me, my friends really, really help, and my family really helps. So calling my friend and like talking to them about things, and I have really close friends that I can do this with, has helped me a lot. My cousin also really helps, my sister, and that's what works for me. But maybe you're somebody that needs to just process on your own. So my cousin tells me, my cousin Tim, who designed the AVOCADO t-shirts, that if you guys want to buy one, again, it's in the description box, he is somebody that needs to deal with it on his own, and he can only emotionally release on his own. So it just depends on you. We're all different, and that's okay. Another thing that I tend to find really helps is, in order for yourself to really get into your body, yoga helps releasing those anxieties. We have a lot of stuck emotions in our bodies, and yes, this sounds very woo-woo, but I believe it's to be true. And when you're doing yoga, you end up releasing a lot of it by flowing through things and releasing that kind of emotion. I cry a lot after really intense workouts and after yoga sometimes, because I'm feeling those emotions release. A lot of it is in my hips. They tend to carry a lot. A lot of people carry it in their shoulders. That's why there are sayings, for instance, that are like, oh, carrying all your weight in your shoulders. So that helps. Meditation is also something that I find incredibly, incredibly helpful, because it forces you to be extremely present in the moment so that you're not thinking about other things or future things. You're just right here in the moment meditating. And it doesn't have to be anything, you guys. Like, meditation doesn't have to be where you stop all of your thoughts. You don't have to suddenly have some transformation or transcendent experience. It is what it is for you, and just being present and sitting still with yourself. And even if you don't sit still, maybe you want to lie down, whatever it is for you. Okay. So those are kind of my strategies when you're in a safe space and you have time and you can really, really, really deal with it on your own. When you're in an unsafe space, for instance, you really have issues that are presently happening because you are basically in a situation. Let's say you're getting ready for an interview and you're there in the interview office waiting for your interview, or maybe you're going to take a test and you're walking to your test, or maybe the other night, for me, for instance, I was at a get together and I felt such intense anxiety because I didn't even really know why, but I had all of this like pent up stuff from the last few weeks and stressing out about it, and just like in situations that reminded me of previous childhood traumas and of like relationship issues, and all of that was just like all in me, and I was freaking out at this get together. And so when this stuff happens, I think actually the best thing to do is to, if you can't leave the situation, then I say take a couple deep breaths, whether you're in the bathroom, or allow yourself to cry and release in the bathroom, because usually there's a bathroom. And then after that, power through it until you can get to a safe space. Because a lot of times I think it makes it even worse and causes more anxiety for me if I like break down and cry in the middle of nowhere. I mean, honestly, now I don't care as much, but then I feel that I need to let everybody else know that I'm okay, and I don't really want to put that kind of pressure or that kind of like, you know, I don't want to put it on them, because I know I'm going to be fine. I just need to like get through this, and this is just something that is happening. So overall, I would say in terms of strategies is to, whatever you need to do to get centered and to get present, do that. It doesn't matter what it is, and it's not weird. Okay, so now another little breather, and I'm going to read the stuff that is going on in the chat. Yes, Live and Learn Army. I love you guys. I love that you guys are using the hashtag, especially when I see it on Instagram, because there's 500 posts now, so it makes my day a lot. And I hope to get you guys, I really hope we can get to 600 posts by this week. So if you are in the live stream, please post something this week and use the hashtag Live and Learn Army, so that we can continue to create this community and support each other, because everyone has been super duper supportive. Yasmin says, I have anxiety about the future. Yes. The future is what causes anxiety. And if we have depression, it's usually because we're thinking about the past. I've told a few friends that I'm seeking help so I don't get depressed. It's good to tell your friends, and it's good to find the friends that are going to be supportive of that. And sometimes I think a great lesson in this is, when you're going through stuff like this, is that if you do share it with other people, you end up becoming closer. There are also times when you share it with other people and they're just like, whoa, not ready for this. I don't want to do this, because they're not ready to deal with it for themselves. And that's okay too, you know, and you just understand and figure out which of these people are able to support you through stuff like this. Jamie says, I've been using a notebook to write down any thoughts or ideas now. That's amazing. Writing helps me a lot too. I make myself write 3 pages all the way through, making sure not to worry about the content. Yes, write whatever you want. It doesn't need to be anything specific. And let's see. Something that helps me sometimes is when I make a chart and write what made me happy today, so you can look back on the happy thoughts. I love that. I write down what I'm grateful for, and it could be little things. Like, I think the other day I wrote that I was grateful for a comfortable bed. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, and it really changes your perspective on how you see the world, and being grateful for stuff makes you even more grateful, and more grateful things happen to you. It's kind of crazy like that. If you guys believe in the law of attraction, that's totally something that I feel like happens. Feeling out of control when life sends you curveballs. Totally. Yes, you guys are so sweet. Oh my gosh. Jamie says, I do that too. I go park and just cry or scream, and it feels better in my car. And Marla says, I cry in my car all the time. Exactly. See, I love that we're all sharing this kind of stuff, and that it's normal, guys. Like, we found each other. We are now this Live and Learn Army where we're all going through this kind of stuff together, and it's not weird. We all do it, and it's actually really, really healthy. Story says, I have about 50 draft emails that I'll never send, just because somewhere to get my thoughts out. Something about seeing your thoughts written down really helps me relax my brain from going in circles. Yes, totally. Marla also punches her bed. Me too. That's the thing. Last time I was really depressed, turned to drinking and other bad habits, so not doing it this time. Jamie, that is amazing, because I think getting out of your emotions, instead of suppressing them through bad habits, is something that all of us can get better at doing. And that's something I had to deal with too, because I used food as my coping mechanism. And, you know, I noticed that when I feel out of tune with my eating, or my binge eating kicks up, I know that something is going on within myself. And it's amazing to be able to, you know, notice those things and make a different choice and change our way of dealing with it. Could you talk about how to deal with anxiety that comes from home? All my life, my dad threatened, called me names, and just yelled at me, and I'm 20 now, but I still cry when he yells at me. Okay, Indra, I'm so sorry. That's so hard. Okay, I think that when stuff like this happens, it causes a lot of anxiety and a lot of trauma, especially if this is something that you've been dealing with for a long, long time. And I think the best way is to utilize the strategies of centering yourself and being present, and also understanding that we're not going to be able to control other people, and anything that they're doing to us is because of them. Hurt people hurt people. And I know it's hard to put yourself in someone else's shoes that is causing you pain, but it's most likely because they're feeling so much pain themselves that they have to take it out on someone else because they don't know how to handle it. And that is the way that I see it when people do mean things to me. It's not easy by any means, and I feel so much for you that you're going through something like this, because that's so, so hard. I've been in a relationship before where I was emotionally abused, and I had no idea at the time. The person would completely shut off. They would ignore me. They would disappear for days anytime that I would talk about my feelings. And so from that point on, after the relationship ended, because I was with this person for 7.5 years, for the last 2 years of my life, anytime I had to talk about my feelings, I got terrible, terrible anxiety. It was so bad. Like, that's what caused me to have panic attacks. That's what caused me to never be able to talk about my feelings with other people. And I would cripple to the floor, and I would blow hot and cold, and all of these things were happening. And I do want to tell you though, like, I've gotten to such a better place, and it's possible. And that's what I'm actually going to be talking about in the third segment of this, is how to recover from it. But I also want to let you know that I feel so much for you, and I'm sorry that you're going through something like this, and to hang in there. And if you use the hashtag #LiveAndLearnArmy, I hope that the rest of you guys can help support Indra. Post it on Instagram, and I will, check up on you every now and then if that's something that you're into. Jennifer says that she's working on food binging too. Yes, that's so hard. Nice Wolfie says, I love to take a nice thick blanket and squeeze it. After that, I curl up in a ball and take a nap and relax. Something that would also help is to relax and watch videos. You're interested. Yes, I love that. I think self-love and doing kind things for yourself really, really helps. I'm such a big advocate of loving yourself. And, today, I took a really long shower before this. And then if you guys look, that way, these flowers right here, I bought for myself yesterday because I knew that I was going through stuff, and I was like, you know what, Olivia, you got to be kind to yourself. So I bought myself flowers. I don't think it's weird. I think that we should love ourselves the way that we want other people to love us, because that's really, really important. How do you talk about your feelings to someone? Yasmin asked. I find it hard and gives me a lot of anxiety. So I will cover this topic, Yasmin, in the third segment. Okay. Nice Wolfie says, my idea is you can try have a warm beverage like coffee or tea, have a nap or relax, do yoga, watch ASMR, do something you enjoy, draw how you feel, and watch my channel. Thanks, you guys. And okay. I love that you guys are all giving advice for everything. Okay, so Yasmin says she has huge anxiety about other things, others think of me, but I'm working on it slowly. Okay, so I do want to address that really quickly, because I've dealt with this a lot, where I thought I cared so much about what other people think of me. And if you guys are ready to hear this, take this to heart. You need to think of yourself in a way where you love yourself and you care about yourself, and that you really believe that you're a good person. A lot of times when we're worried about what other thing, I think all of the time, actually, I will literally say all of the time, when you're worried about what other people think of you, it's because you don't love yourself. And even during this time when someone told this to me, I was like, but I do love myself. But do you really? Like, you really need to sit with yourself and be like, am I loving myself? Am I doing things like buying myself flowers? Am I taking care of myself when I'm taking a shower? Am I massaging myself in a way that I love myself? Am I taking care of my body? Am I taking care of my emotional well-being? And yes, it's hard to hear that you don't love yourself, but you can do things every single day that show yourself that you do love yourself and work toward that. And it never has to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be a certain way. It doesn't have to look a certain way either. And I will have to say that when it comes to that, when I really, really realized that, and this happened for me in January of this year, is I changed so much about my life, and I have gotten better at it, and it's never going to be perfect, and that's okay. You know, some days I will do more loving things for myself. Some days I end up hating myself in so many ways, because at the end of the day, we have to love ourselves and we have to like ourselves as people. And if we can do that, we understand that everybody else and anything that they ever say about us has nothing to do with us, and it only has to do with them. And it's also not true, because we've come to a place where we really, really, really like the person that we are. And that's super duper important. And I don't mean this in like a conceited way or in a like self-righteous way or I'm better than you kind of way. No, it means, you know what? I've come to terms with myself and I like the person that I am. And because of that, I'm not going to allow other people to dictate how I feel about myself. And yes, everybody is so nice in the chat right now. Okay, so now let's move on to part number 3. How do you recover from anxiety? And listen, guys, this isn't going to be something that is just one strategy that is going to fix everything, because I can only tell you from what I've done and what works for me, and hope to hell that it works for you too, because I know that it works. So in basically guinea pigging myself, and that's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life with you guys, is just guinea pig myself to it. So, and tell you guys when I've guinea pigged myself how it's worked. And also I want to mention what Jamie said. She said, definitely surround yourself with people who will listen and support. Not everyone is there for you. I haven't told any friends in person. They aren't around. My online friends are supportive. Yes, tell people how you feel, and the ones that are not going to support you are not the people for you. And I've had to unfortunately cut out people from my life because they just did not support who I was as a person, and they kept bringing me down and were really negative. And I also want to tell you guys that after my 7.5-year relationship, I didn't have any friends. I didn't have friends. I didn't have a support system. And it took me a year to really, really build that. And now I have amazing people in my life. So if this is something that you're struggling with and you feel like you're at rock bottom, I want to tell you from firsthand experience that you can have those people. Those people exist. And if you are one of those people, you will attract those people into your life just by being who you are, and it will happen for you. So I also want to say that if you are completely at rock bottom and you have to start all over, that's okay. I've done it. And believe me, you guys, I'm going to keep doing it in different ways. And, you know, that's just something that I think it's so scary to do. And it's such a scary and hard place to be. But I really believe that each and every one of you can get through something like that, because I've seen myself do it and it was really freaking hard. But it's possible, guys. It's totally possible. And I'm giving you guys permission to do it. To just cut out negative people from your life and, you know, change your life if that's what you really, really want to do. Okay, so how to recover from it. So first of all, I really believe that you need to keep going through these cycles and observing yourself and figuring out what your patterns are, figuring out what triggers you, and figuring out where it actually comes from. And for me, doing meditation has helped me really come to terms with how far back some of this trauma comes from, and it comes from like childhood. And I'm sure that there's even more of this that's going to happen, and it's really uncomfortable to do, you guys, because going really deep into yourself and letting those emotions come up and feeling through them and allowing those triggers to be something that you have to address is really freaking scary. But what I can tell you is the more often you do it, the less scary it is, because you'll know that you'll make it through the other side, and any emotions that you're feeling will also pass. And when you do it enough times, you see that pattern as, oh, okay, now I can make a different choice. And it doesn't have to be that exact same choice anymore. You don't have to binge eat. You don't have to like freak out about something, because your body, like I was telling you earlier, since you're like animals, once you've gone through it enough times and it's no longer something where your body feels like it's going to die and it's in danger, those anxieties will dissipate over time. They'll continue to dissipate over and over. So now, before, I was terrible at talking about my emotions and about my feelings. And now I do it over and over so often, and I probably do it over the top, because I tell all of my friends how I feel about them and how much I love them all of the time. And they've created this very safe space for me to do so. And so now when I'm in a situation where I'm really uncomfortable, like let's say, for instance, I have to be in a situation where I tell someone that I'm dating how I feel about them, and it's really scary because I don't know how they feel. I do it, and I've done it enough times where when I recognize the anxiety kicking up, it's not as debilitating anymore. I'm not on the floor sobbing and crying. And if that does happen, I accept it and I'm okay with it, because I understand that that is something that's going to happen in my body, and I need to keep going and dealing with it and keep feeling safe over and over before my body realizes we're not in danger and we're not going to die just because we're feeling this emotion, because we are #animals. So hopefully that made sense to you. And then the other thing that I find that I've done in recovering for this is to run toward it. If you're getting anxiety about something, it's really... Also, I want to address this question really quick. Is it okay to cut close friends although they only bring you down? Yes. I've done it. I had to get rid of my best friend in college because she was just not supportive and she was such a negative person, and I just couldn't, and you know what? That's a win. And yeah, maybe it's not super duper nice, but at the same time, you have to really know what is meant for you and what is not. And that doesn't mean they can't come back into your life later when they've figured it out and they get to a better headspace themselves. Okay, so running towards it. And you basically, anytime you have anxiety and you recognize that this pattern is coming up, if you've done the work and you've figured out why you have it through journaling, through meditation, through whatever means that you need to do it, and you're like, oh, this is a trauma from this point in my life, then you run toward it every time it happens, and you use a different positive strategy instead. So you do it enough times that it stops causing anxiety in you. And I want to give you guys an example of this. So one of the things that caused a lot of anxiety in me, going back to the relationship thing, is being with someone who was emotionally abusive, and I was never able to talk about my feelings. And because of that, anytime I talked about my feelings with anybody, I would think that they would hate me. Like automatically my brain would go, they're going to hate me. And it didn't matter what it was. So I found myself like tiptoeing around topics. I found myself like making excuses instead of just telling them how I felt. And it was the stupidest things too. So if I couldn't attend something, let's say like my friend invited me out to go get coffee, and for whatever reason I couldn't attend it, I would make up an excuse that was like outrageous instead of just telling them like, hey, like I'm just not feeling good today, is it okay if we reschedule? Instead I would be like, oh my god, I have to like help my mom with this or something like that, just as an example. And now I just tell people the truth, and it's so liberating, so liberating. And I've done it enough times over the last 2 years that I've gotten to a point where I'm comfortable doing it. And I understand that if people react a certain way, it's not because of me, and I won't be able to control that anyway. So if you get anxiety by, let's say, for instance, by swimming pools, because someone's pushed you into a swimming pool before, because I know earlier we were talking about that, it's going to have to be one of those things where you're literally going to have to learn how to swim if you want to get over it. And it's going to suck doing it, but do it in baby steps. Maybe just like put your feet in the pool. Maybe, have someone there to support you that you really trust to help you like get into a pool. All of those little things, in order to get over it and to get over our traumas, we have to run toward it. We really do, and do it enough times that our body starts releasing and feeling comfortable with it. Of course, it's scary, and of course, it sucks feeling through all those emotions, but you know what? I don't know why we're taught that negative emotions are not to be felt and only positive ones are, because honestly, emotions are all emotions, and they're all equal. Anger is not something that is bad. Anger is what causes frustration in us, and if we scream and release it, then it's gone. It's dissipated. We need to just release those emotions, and we need to feel them out. And it's also about getting good at allowing yourself to feel out those emotions and allowing yourself to go there and giving yourself permission to feel those emotions. And if you need somebody to give you permission, I'm giving it to you now. I'm giving you permission to feel all of those emotions, and I'm letting you know that I support you 150% while you're going through this kind of stuff, because you know what, guys? This is healthy and this is normal. So, okay, so now we're going to take another little breather, and I'm going to go through all of the comments that have been happening, or just, let's see. I've actually been working on it a lot at school. I'm worried if people spread rumors about me, think I'm weird, but I literally just say, who cares what they think in my head. Nice, Wolfie, that is amazing, because you know what? If you like yourself as a person, none of that matters, because you know it's not true anyways. I know it's difficult because I get in my head sometimes too. I'm like, I wonder what people think of me. And then I think I've just gotten to the point where I'm really taking care of myself and really doing good in the world and really trying to change the world for the better, that I like myself and I'm okay if other people don't like me. And I think getting to that point in your life is going to be so rewarding. I also sometimes talk to myself by saying I'm different and unique. Who cares what others think? That's awesome. I talk to myself sometimes too. That's okay, You guys are so sweet. I love that everything that you guys are talking about and sharing in this live stream has been so open and vulnerable and amazing. And I'm so honored to even be a part of it and to have created this space for you guys to do it. And I'm loving it. I'm really, really loving it. Yes, be confident, Oh my gosh. I really love the people in this video and watching. You guys are teaching me so much, and we need more people like you guys in the world. Yes, you guys, use the hashtag Live and Learn Army one time this week, and just, post whatever the heck you want and use the hashtag on Instagram. And all of us, let's go to each other's Instagrams and leave a purple heart, because Nice Wolfie started that, and she or he, I think, I'm not really sure, but started the purple hearts. So let's leave a bunch of purple hearts everywhere on all of the posts, because that would be amazing. And to know that you guys are not alone, because we're not. I don't know if this is too personal, but I would love to follow you guys on Insta if you want. Yes, exactly. Yes, you guys. Oh my gosh. So yes, this is amazing. Oh my God, this is so amazing. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So do that. Follow each other on Instagram and use the hashtag so that we can all find each other and all of that stuff. And I also wanted to give you guys the goal of the week. And I think the goal of the week should just be this. I think it should be finding each other and creating more of the Live and Learn Army community, and really supporting one another. And that is my goal for you guys this week. It's very simple, but it's about creating that community that honestly and openly can share with each other and talk about these tough topics that is normal, and finding healthy ways to deal with them and supporting each other through that. Because you know what, Live and Learn Army, I love you guys, and I am so proud of us. So proud. Low-key cringy emo kid. I love it. That is awesome. So yeah, if you guys haven't yet, I would really appreciate if you guys give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful at all. And if you guys know of anybody that could use this video as a support or anything like that, please share it. It would mean the world to me. I'm trying really hard to get this kind of stuff seen more and find more of the Live and Learn Army community and more people that can relate and more people to join in on the conversation. So I would love your help with this kind of stuff. If you guys can just share it or tell somebody about it, it would mean the world to me and to each other. So I'm looking forward to your purple hearts and the hashtag Live and Learn Army. Yeah, I love you guys. And Chantel, hugs for you. Severe anxiety on a daily basis is so hard. Oh my gosh, thank you. So yeah, if you guys have any last minute questions, today is probably the longest live stream we've ever done. let me know. And also, I would love to know if there is anything else that you guys struggle with that you guys want me to talk about, because these live streams are for you guys. I mean, of course, I love being a part of it, but I really, really want to do this because I want to cultivate the Live and Learn army that wants to just help one another and know that we're not alone, because we're not. There has to be more people like us. So yeah, that is what I want to say. If you guys have any topic suggestions, let me know. And aside from that, I hope you guys have a really great Monday. You know, that's about the extent of what I got to talk about today. I'm so appreciative of every single one of you guys, and this, I think, by far has been my favorite live stream in terms of, I didn't really think that, like, I had a vision in my head of what the Live and Learn Army would be, where it's a community of people that really support one another going through life struggles and the things that we're living and learning about, and really being there for one another. And today's live stream is more than what I would have ever imagined it could be. So I'm so grateful for that. Okay, eating problems, both small and big. Okay, got it. So now I'm going to head off of here. I want to say that I love you guys so much. I am going to, if you guys want, what you can do is go on my Instagram and the most recent post and leave some purple hearts. That way other people can find your Instagram too. And so it'll be easier for me to just come creep you a little bit, and also use the hashtag Live and Learn Army on an Instagram post. Actually, yeah, do that right now. Everybody post something to Instagram right now, whatever it is you want, and use the hashtag Live and Learn Army with some purple hearts, and then we can all go to the hashtag Live and Learn Army, and you guys can all find each other, and I can come creep all of you. So that's what I want you guys to do right now after this live stream, because I think that would be really awesome. So I'm going to take in all of your suggestions. Thank you guys for being so open, honest, and vulnerable. And I'm sending you guys all of my love and, you know, the best vibes for this week. So I love you guys, and I will see you guys next Monday for another live stream. And there's another video going up on Thursday, so get ready for that. Okay, I love you guys. Mwah. Bye.